Welcome back to Torah in 10, Parshas Noach. I'm Jody Burkell, and I'm so excited to be here with you again. Rabbi Sacks of blessed memory shares a beautiful, life-changing idea with us this week. He says, next time you meet someone radically unlike you, try to see the difference not as a threat, but as an enlarging, possibly life-creating gift. That's a tall order, especially these days. But as we learned last week, more than we have faith in God, God has faith in us to do it. Last week, we read about creation. This week, we read about its almost total destruction, with the exception of Noah, his family, 2 sets of animals, 7 sets of kosher animals. God begins again. What went so terribly wrong? In Bereshis, we read how God created man in his image. In this parsha, we read something similar, but the message is different. The Torah tells us, whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of God he made man. Did you catch the change? In Bereshis, we learn that I am made in the image of God. In Parshas Noach, we learn that the other person is made in the image of God. In Bereshis, we read about the power of human beings over the earth. And this week, we learn that we can't use that power over others because of the sanctity of all lives, not just our own. Another difference is that prior to bringing the flood, God, as he was creating the world, uses the word good 7 times. Now, 7 times God uses the word covenant. What's the difference? When we say something is good, we're talking about how it is in of itself. When we're speaking about a covenant, we're speaking about relationships. God has transformed the terms of our relationships. After the flood, he taught Noah, and through him all humanity, that we shouldn't think of ourselves alone as made in the image of God, but to include others as well. That, says Rabbi Sacks, is the only way to save ourselves from violence and self-destruction. I know, I always go back to the Holocaust because it's such a relevant personal example of this. The Nazis saw us as different, and this difference caused them to view us like animals, actually even less than animals, as vermin and as numbers. There is no way a human being could do what the Nazis did to us, to the Jewish people, and to others if they saw us as being made in the image of God. That's why this is such a life-changing idea. It means that the greatest religious challenge is, can I see God's image in one who is not in my image, whose color, class, culture, or creed is different than mine? This is Rabbi Sacks' challenge to us. People are afraid of those unlike them. This has been a source of violence throughout history because the other is always seen as a threat. Rabbi Sacks asks, but what if people not like us enlarge us rather than threaten our world? Here's something interesting to think about. As Jews, we're constantly eating, so we are constantly making blessings on our food. There is a strange blessing we say after eating or drinking something that we made a shehakol over. It goes, Borei nefashos rabo behesronam, meaning God creates many souls and their deficiencies. Why are we thanking God for making us deficient? Listen to the beautiful answer Rabbi Sacks gives us. If we had no deficiencies and therefore we lacked nothing, we would never need anyone else. Has anyone ever wondered why, when God made the world, he didn't make everyone healthy, everyone rich, and everyone perfect? I mean, God could do that. Why didn't he? If God did that, what would he need us for? We are God's partners in creation. We're here to partner with God and through the mitzvot fix the world and each other. The fact that we're all different, that we all have deficiencies, means that we need each other. What I lack, you may have, and what you lack, I may have. It's our coming together that we each give each other something that we're missing. We don't compete with each other. We complete each other. Remember in Jerry Maguire, you complete me? It was like the best line of the movie. Do you see how life-changing this idea can be? After the flood, and to avoid a world filled with violence that led to the flood in the first place, God asks us to see his image in one who is not in my image, not in our image. Adam knew that he was made in the image of God. Noah and his descendants are commanded to remember that the other person, no matter how different, is made in the image of God as well. We're living in times that confront this idea with cancel culture, extreme censorship, and silencing of dissenting views. It's up to us to bring this life-changing idea forward. We can totally do it. Next time we meet someone very different than us, we should try and see the difference not as a threat, but as an opportunity for growth. Shabbat Shalom.